Are you still losing weight after C. diff? Well, here's what's happening, and here's how you can regain your weight and your strength. Even after the infection is gone, your gut may still be inflamed, your microbiome may still be off balance, and you may not even be able to absorb nutrients properly. In this video, you'll learn the 3 causes of C. difficile weight loss, 4 steps to stop C. diff weight loss, and how you can transition to a long-term healthy diet. Hi, I'm Michelle Moore, and I help people recover their gut, their immune system, and their microbiome naturally after infections and antibiotics. While I am a microbiologist and a holistic health educator, I am not a doctor. This video is for educational purposes and should not be considered medical advice. If you need medical advice on which foods are best for you or how to gain weight, be sure to talk with your medical doctor. You're watching the 10-part C. diff diet series, where I share practical and science-backed ways to eat for gut healing and long-term recovery. Before we talk about what helps with C. diff weight loss, it's important to understand why it happens in the first place. Because once you know the causes, then the right steps will make a lot more sense. Weight loss from C. diff isn't just about not eating enough food. It's about what's happening inside the gut. And there are 3 main causes that often work together. First, when C. difficile overgrows, it releases powerful toxins A and B into the gut that inflame and damage the gut lining. The inside of the colon becomes irritated and swollen, and that irritation makes the gut push food through too quickly, flushing out calories, minerals, and electrolytes before they can be absorbed. Now, these same toxins can also cause abdominal pain, bloating, diarrhea, and nausea, making it hard to eat or even keep food down. So the result is twofold: less appetite and rapid nutrient loss, and that's why so many people lose weight even while being treated for the infection. Next, when that inflammation from those C. diff toxins continues, it starts to affect the villi. Now, these are tiny finger-like structures that line your intestines, and they absorb the nutrients from your food. Research shows that C. diff can blunt those villi and leave them coated in mucus. And when the surface is altered like this, the food you eat can't reach those cells that are supposed to take in the nutrients. So even if you eat a normal meal, your gut might not be pulling in the calories, fats, and vitamins that your body needs. Proteins and nutrients can pass through your GI system only partly digested, and minerals like magnesium and zinc are often lost in the stool. In this phase, the weight loss comes from malabsorption, so your body simply isn't able to make use of what you feed it. Finally, even after the infection clears, the gut lining can remain hypersensitive. This is what's often called post-infection IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome, where the tight junctions between intestinal cells loosen, and that allows small fragments of bacteria and their toxins, like LPS endotoxins, to leak into the body's circulation, into the blood. Now, that leakage from the gut keeps the immune system on high alert, fueling low-grade inflammation throughout the body. This can also cause histamine reactions and food sensitivities. It's a hidden drain on your energy that can suppress appetite and slow nutrient absorption for weeks or even months after the C. diff infection is gone. Understanding these 3 layers of gut damage, toxin irritation, villi damage and inflammation, and gut barrier leaks, explain why regaining strength and weight after C. diff can take time. It's not just about eating more, it's about healing the gut environment first. Once inflammation calms and balance returns, your digestion and your weight can begin to recover naturally. Next, we'll go through the 4 key steps that help make that happen. If you've been through a C. difficile infection, you know how draining it can be to lose weight and how frustrating it feels while that weight keeps slipping away even after the infection is gone. The key to turning weight loss around is timing. Regaining weight doesn't happen all at once, it happens in phases. Each step builds on the last, starting with calming the gut, then restoring balance, and finally rebuilding your energy and your strength. During and after C. diff, the gut is inflamed and it's not absorbing nutrients well. The goal here isn't to eat more, it's to reduce the irritation first. Many people find relief with a gentle toxin binder such as immunoglobulins, which can help neutralize those inflammatory C. diff toxins, soothe the gut lining, and make foods easier to tolerate. Many people also find that adding a Saccharomyces boulardii yeast probiotic may also help with loose stools. Stick with soothing foods like bone broth, soft cooked eggs, pureed vegetables, and tender meats. Some people feel better on a temporary BRAT diet or a low FODMAP plan, or by cutting back on fiber until things settle. Avoid raw salads, spicy or greasy foods, and caffeine. Skip seed oils like canola, corn, or soybean oils. These are highly processed and they tend to be more inflammatory, which your gut really doesn't need during recovery. And finally, small, frequent meals, gentle hydration with electrolytes, and rest are key at this stage, which will give your gut time to calm down. Once diarrhea slows and stools begin to form, it's time to start rebuilding your microbiome. A good spore-based probiotic can help here because these strains survive stomach acid, they help crowd out overgrowths, and they support the repair of a leaky gut barrier, which is one reason they're so helpful after C. diff. Keeping a gentle immunoglobulin binder on board during this step can also maintain a calmer environment while the gut rests. If tolerated, you can start adding small amounts of low-sugar fermented foods like kefir or sauerkraut. Continue focusing on soothing, easy-to-digest meals, small portions, and steady hydration with electrolytes. When digestion feels more stable, begin reintroducing nutrient-dense foods. As your gut gets stronger, you can start experimenting with more variety, one food at a time. Try adding healthy fats like avocado, butter, or olive oil, and increase protein as tolerated. Reintroduce foods with complex carbs and fiber slowly. Keep meals small and frequent while your gut continues to strengthen. If your energy stays low, ask your practitioner about checking iron, B12, or zinc levels. Many people continue with a spore-based probiotic during this step while gradually tapering off S. boulardii and immunoglobulin binders as their diet normalizes. In this final stage, you're moving from an infection recovery diet to a long-term immune supportive way of eating. And we'll take a closer look at this transition in the next section. Those are the 4 core steps that most people follow to move from infection recovery to full nourishment. But first, remember that recovery isn't always a straight line. Some people move through these steps quickly, while others may need to either pause or even take a step back for a bit if their gut flares up again. If you notice bloating, pain, or loose stools after starting a new food, it's okay to go back to simpler meals or increase the dose of a toxin binder for a few days. Also, watch for signals from your body. A good sign is that your energy improves and your appetite returns over time. A warning sign is new bloating, gas, or stool changes. That's your gut saying, slow down. When that happens, pull back to foods and supplements that you already tolerate, and then try again once things settle down. Some ups and downs along this path to gut healing are totally normal. It's also important to remember that the foods that get you through a C. difficile infection aren't the same ones that will keep you healthy in the long term, which leads us to how to transition to a long-term diet. During a C. diff infection and during early recovery, your diet has to be simple. It's about calming inflammation, reducing toxins, and letting the gut heal. But as your microbiome starts to recover, staying on that infection diet for too long can actually hold you back. Once digestion feels normal, start adding back whole, real foods, like cooked vegetables, whole raw fruits, quality proteins, animal or plant-based healthy fats, and if tolerated, some resistant starches or fermented foods. The exact mix depends on your body. Some people thrive on more ancestral or paleo-style foods, while others do better with more plant diversity. What matters most is choosing real, nutrient-dense foods that help your microbiome rebuild and keep your immune system healthy. At the same time, it's worth looking beyond food at things that can suppress your gut and your immune function. Stress, poor sleep, and certain medications like acid blockers, steroids, or frequent antibiotics can all slow recovery and interfere with nutrient absorption. Evaluating your lifestyle and minimizing those stressors can make a big difference. Gentle movement or light exercises can often begin now. It helps circulation, mood, and appetite. Once the gut is calm and balanced again, weight gain tends to happen naturally. But do note that everyone's situation is different. If you have diabetes, for example, you may need to reintroduce foods more gradually and pay closer attention to how different foods affect your blood sugar. Tolerance can vary a lot from person to person. If you have food allergies or sensitivities, you might stay on gentler foods for a longer period of time. And some people with autoimmune or inflammatory issues feel better limiting grains and highly processed seed oils, but again, this varies widely from person to person. Working with a practitioner to fine-tune your diet is always important. So the goal isn't to live in your infection diet, it's to graduate from it. Once your gut and your microbiome are strong again, food becomes fuel and not just survival. So once your gut has calmed down and you're starting to feel stronger, the next big question is, what should you actually eat now to help your gut and your immune system rebuild? In the next video, I'll show you some of the best foods that support your gut lining, your immune system, and the beneficial bacteria that keep C. difficile from coming back. You can watch the next video here when it's released on the best foods for long-term gut health. And you can find all of the videos on the C. diff diet series right over here.